We're going to start practice standing today. Slightly differently, the idea to move through the joints in the body, I'm doing hand waves already. We'll find some Sun Salutations, a variation on our Surya Namaskar, and then we'll move towards a seat. So there will be some movement, but the main focus for today is actually coming towards our seat, coming towards the breath, and then coming towards a bit of stillness. All those same things apply. Please do take it at your own pace. You can opt in and out of things as you do. Everything is so an invitation. I've got blocks for my Sun Salutation today. If you want blocks, you can use them. You don't have to use them. I'm also going to grab one of my cushions to sit on when we come to that seated practice. So if you want those things, pause, grab them, come back. And then we'll get started standing. So taking your feet roughly hip distance apart. We'll start with our hands today. So circling around through the wrists. Taking those circles in the opposite direction. Moving through the elbow joints here. So drawing the hands in and away and away. Great. And then shoulders. You can do both at the same time, or one of them and then the other. And then see if you can take those circles with the shoulders a little bit bigger to involve the arms. So lifting them up and around. Maybe each one gets a bit bigger. Maybe you reach the hands up towards the sky. If you want to take a big old stretch on the next one, maybe the hands go up, but you pause there for a moment and then drop them down, taking a few more of those here. Great. And then let the hands land. Something similar with the feet, standing on one foot, does not matter which, taking some circles around with your ankles. If it's helpful, you can hang on to your hips, you can hang on to a wall, ankle opposite direction. Fab. Let the knee swing here. So bending the knee and straightening the leg. Great. And then can we take that up into the hip joints, so circling around through the hip. Some in one direction, some in the opposite direction. Great. You can always tap the foot down when you need. And then see if you can give the leg a little swing around here as well. Maybe less kind of focus, just see where it needs to go. And then same thing on the other side. So starting with the ankle, circling around through the ankle joints, and then into the knee joint. From the knee joint into the hip, so moving around the hip here, other direction. Maybe taking that a few more times. And then letting your legs swing again. Doesn't have to be exact. Just letting it swing around. And you can give everything a bit of a shake out here. All right, you could shake one foot real vigorously, the other foot, and hang back somewhere towards stillness. Fab. We're going to move through some of those Sun Salutations. So this first round, I'll take pretty slow. As you get into the rhythm, feel free to kind of ad-lib a bit, find your own things as you go along. And I'm going to simply repeat that same Sun Salutation quite a few times. So finding the top of your mat, I've got my blocks just either side of the feet here. Find a place where your feet feel comfortable to land. Let the shoulders draw back and slightly down, hands landing alongside the body. Inhaling to take the hands up towards the sky, and maybe you look towards the sky. Exhaling to fold forwards and down. Hands come to shins or knees, lifting halfway. And then can we bring the hands down? You can do that to blocks, you can do that to the ground. Stepping your right foot back, so finding our runner's lunge here. From our runner's lunge, stepping to our plank pose. Knees are welcome to be down. Finding your way to the ground. Lifting the chest up and forwards to cobra, elbows towards the ribs. And then can we find our downward facing dog. Opposite foot steps forwards. It's that lunge. See if you can look forwards as you step into your runner's lunge. And then bringing your right foot forwards as well. Lifting halfway, hands fine, shins or knees. Folding back down. Hands rise all the way towards the sky. Bringing the palms to land at heart center. It's one side. We're going to repeat that starting with the left foot. So the inhale again, hands rise towards the sky. Folding forwards and down. Inhale, lifting halfway, hands to shins or knees. Bringing your hands down, stepping your left foot back. So we find this runner's lunge position again. And this is where me having my hands on blocks is a little bit easier for me because I've got more space around the front of my torso. Looking forwards, stepping to your plank pose. You can absolutely add your chaturanga or drop the knees slowly lower to your mat. Inhale to lift into your back bend. Exhale to find downward facing dog. Right foot steps forwards, looking forwards in that lunge. So our back heel is lifted in this lunge. And then can you step your left foot forward, forward fold. Inhale, lifting halfway. Exhale, folding down. Inhale, rising to the sky. Option to add your back bend here. And then the palms come back down to the heart. And that's the base flow that I'm going to repeat twice more on each side. If you're joining, let's bring the palms back together at the heart. Reaching the hands up towards the sky, folding forwards and down. Lifting halfway, hands to shins or knees. Palms towards the ground, right foot steps back, lunge shape, looking forwards, and then stepping to your plank. Knees are welcome to come down, lowering to your mat. Lifting into your back bend, downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, left foot steps forwards. So if you can find that lunge position looking forwards. And then your right foot joins forward fold. Lifting halfway, folding down. Rising to the sky. Again, palms are real welcome to come together, looking to thumbs. Folding forwards and down. Lifting halfway. Fingertips down, left foot steps back, looking forwards in your lunge first, and then finding your plank pose. Lower to your mat. Lifting into your back bend, downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, right foot steps forwards, looking forwards, left foot joins. Lifting halfway. Folding down. Rising to the sky, arms reach high, and then palms come together at the heart. On the inhale, hands rising to sky. Exhale, folding forwards and down. Inhale, lifting halfway. Exhale, placing the palms and stepping your right foot back. Look forwards in that lunge as you inhale. Exhale back. Finding your way to the mat. Inhaling in your back bend. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Opposite foot steps forwards, low lunge. Stepping to your forward fold. Lifting halfway. Folding back down. Rising to the sky, let your palms reach. And then again, folding forwards and down. Lifting halfway. Fingertips find the ground, left foot steps back, looking forwards. And then to your plank. All the way to your mat. Lifting towards your back bend. Downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, stepping your right foot forwards. Low lunge looking forwards. Stepping to your forward fold. Lifting halfway. Folding down. Rising to the sky, and as your hands come towards the sky, bringing the palms together to land at the heart. Take a moment to pause there. Breath in and out. From here, can you slowly take the hands up towards the sky? And then again, folding forwards and down. Lifting halfway. But this time we're going to take ourselves to our downward facing dog. So again, you can use your blocks if you want to. You can walk back. You can have your hands on your mat. See if you can find a place just to pause in that downward facing dog. Find any variation that you want to be in here. So knees really welcome to be bent. If you have your hands on blocks, it might be that the heels go closer to the ground. You can always take your blocks to the side. Find your downward facing dog there. Take a stretch if you want to take a stretch. And then slowly finding your knees down towards the ground. And this is the point that we're going to move towards our seat. What I'd invite you to find is any seat that feels comfortable today. I'm going to take a slightly different seat than I've been taking. I'm going to use my bolster and sit along my bolster. You can find whatever seat feels comfortable for you. If this looks comfy and this is where you want to sit, great, feel free to find this. You can also sit on a block, pile of cushions. You could be cross-legged or you could be sat anywhere in a chair or with the legs out in front. So if you can take a moment just to notice your breath. And maybe notice the difference between all that movement that we just took and this stillness. Even though we're not perfectly still, there still might be a little bit of a wriggle going on. And in fact, we are going to take just a few more wriggles before we fully come towards stillness here. Those wriggles, left ear drops down towards left shoulder. Letting the chin draw around towards the center, to the other side. And you can repeat that semicircle, rolling around. If you want to take a full circle, you can take the chin towards the sky, or you can stay with me, taking these semicircles around. Great. Eventually coming back through to center, lifting the chin, back upright. We'll take a side stretch here. Right hand comes down, maybe it finds the ground, left hand reaches up and over, just any kind of stretchiness that you want to take. You can circle through top hand if you want to, or you can stay in stillness. And then the same on the opposite side, hand up and over. Finding the center. You might roll through shoulders, and if there's any other little bits of wriggly things that you want to take here just before we drop into our seat, then you're really welcome to find that here. So give yourself a moment just for whatever that needs to be, and maybe you're already right in towards stillness. Maybe there's something that's just a little bit more kind of ad lib. Find what you need. And then at some point, coming towards that slightly more still space. And again, know that you can move when you need to move here. I'm going to invite us to take a pranayama practice, a breath work practice, where we take something called our physiological sigh. And just to explain that before we go in, 2 inhales through the nose, a slight hold at the top, and an exhale through the mouth. The first inhale, we're thinking about breathing low towards the belly. And we might want to think about maybe like 70% capacity of your lungs. The second inhale, higher to the chest, like you're topping up the breath. Or if you think of like a balloon, you're kind of blowing an extra bit in. Hold and then a long sigh out. I'm going to guide us through 5 of those. You can also just breathe however you need to breathe. If it feels helpful, you could take your hands onto your torso somewhere. I've taken mine down to my belly. And I'll guide us through a simple inhale and exhale to bring us together in rhythm. So inhaling here. and exhaling when you're ready. And we'll begin. Breathing into the belly, breathing into the chest, a slight hold, and an exhale out. Breathing into the belly, breathing into the chest, pause, and exhale. Breathing into the belly, breathing into the chest, pausing and exhaling. One more, breathing into the belly, breathing into the chest, and exhaling. Let yourself return to your natural rhythm of breath. You can leave your hands where they are, or you can let the hands drop down. And there's a couple of options here. If you would like to repeat the breath that we just took, you could take that here in your own time. We could also find a watching the breath meditation. And by this, I mean almost as if you are observing your inhale and your exhale. So the focus comes towards the inhale and the exhale. And this can sometimes be helpful to kind of bring us to one thing, or to move away from perhaps some of the other thoughts. And yeah, they might still like ping up at any point, and that's okay. But the practice is coming back to this kind of focus on the breath. If it's comfortable for you to close down the eyes, you're welcome to close down the eyes here. And the invitation is for the breath to be in and out through the nose. So find your comfortable seat. Maybe you're already there. Maybe you want to wriggle a little first. And then see if you can find that steady inhale and exhale. And rather than me guide the breath here, find your pace or rhythm. Noticing each inhale and each exhale. If it's helpful, repeating the word inhale as you inhale, exhale as you exhale. Breath in and out. And we'll be here for roughly 2 minutes. Gentle inhale and exhale at your own pace. And if your mind wanders, bringing it back to the focus on the breath without judgment. from here, you might let the focus on the breath drift. Maybe placing your hands in contact with the body somewhere, whether that's your legs, whether that's your torso. Sending yourself a thank you for practicing today. And when you feel ready to close your practice, a gentle nod or a bow here. If it feels like you want to sit in the stillness for a bit longer, of course, you have space to do that. You can turn the recording off and just take some time to sit. If you're into journaling, sometimes after these practices, it can be nice to jot down a few words or set up your day. See you again soon.